I was told I could be a receptionist or in the army. I had 2 burnouts in 3 years. I need something that's better for my nervous system and my mental health. A lot of the content looks the same. Faceless marketing with like a cup of coffee and a nice beige table. We can do more. I'm still learning. There's always problems to solve and fires to put out. I did hear something interesting from a psychiatrist. She said that your dream job is what your inner child craved when you were younger. And definitely had a chip on my shoulder for a while. I went from modeling, being completely on guard all the time, to going into the film industry. I was on a commercial, it was 160 crew, and there was one black guy, and he was the runner, creating space for women and wanting to give them a voice. I've struggled with my voice since I was little.
Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Coffee and Oysters, the London Business Babe podcast, where we get you together with business tips that actually work and let you know where it's worth tapping your oyster around the city. My name is Frances Adera Matthews. I'm a certified Notion consultant and founder of the Notion Bar, where I get my clients together with personalized systems built in Notion that they absolutely love logging into. Never fear, for my systems-loving girlies, every month I host the Big Notion Energy Academy, where we go through all of the latest updates in Notion, and you get to ask me, a certified Notion expert, your silliest questions. Details in the show notes. Okay, how is it going this week? Still in the midst of summer. This is another episode where I forgot to record the intro, so this is actually more or less real time. It's definitely that weird time as a business owner where everyone just seems to log out. It's getting a lot of out of office bounce backs, which is a little bit annoying, but we move. I'm plotting some other potential things. That's what I'm dealing with at the moment. Going on holiday soon to Lisbon. When this comes out, I'll just be getting back, I believe. So really excited for that. And as for London, London is buzzing. Last week I went to Amber Mark, who's probably one of my favorite music artists ever. If you haven't listened to her stuff, go listen to it already. But saw her live. But what was really quite rogue is that I saw her on the Mall. So the Mall, so that big long stretch where Buckingham Palace is, that goes all the way up to Charing Cross. But there is a concert venue there. It's in the Institute of Contemporary Art, the ICA, and there is it basically looks like a GCSE drama studio. It's all blacked out in the back, but I had a really good time, really good concert, really good venue. Really excited for this week's episode. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Hey London Business Babe. This community is built for us and by us to ungatekeep your next move and life in the city. If you never want to miss out, subscribe to the Substack where episodes will land straight in your inbox. Plus, every other Monday, you'll get a chance to feature on the show by shouting yourself out in the Manifest Monday email. You never know who's listening. Details in the show notes. Now, grab a cup of coffee or your favorite beverage and let's get into today's interview.
So, super excited for today's episode. Today, we have Ash Halliburton, who is a writer, director, and production designer who spent years crafting bold visual worlds for film, fashion, and beyond. She's the founder of Selfish Studio, a creative platform that helps small brands and content creators make standout content without the burnout, and the force behind She Speaks Sense, a no-fluff coaching space for creative entrepreneurs ready to grow with purpose. As an autistic ADHDer, Ash is mildly obsessed with using AI to make work life smoother, cooler, and more profitable. And she's passionate about helping others build sustainable, creative careers on their own terms. If it involves storytelling, style, or smart strategy, she's all in. Yay! Welcome to the show! How's it going?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
It's good. Apart from technical issues, I think we're good.
Yes. Very excited to be doing this because the tech is working now. But I love what you do. You do it all, basically.
She's trying.
So how to paint a picture for whoever's listening, could you quickly break down all the different ventures that you do, just so people understand
What's going on?
what world we're living in?
My past was from Newcastle. Being creative wasn't really a job option for me at all. I was told I could be a receptionist or in the army. Not that there's anything wrong with either of those things, but that was my career trajectory based on my GCSEs. Then I got scouted as a model, which brought me to London. Through modeling, I kind of discovered all these different avenues of income. I was looking at people on set, photographers, stylists, set designers, and I was like, wait, this is a job? Like I could actually do this. And I'd been collecting like Dazed and Confused and ID since I was, because it was still Dazed and Confused back then. So it's now Dazed. But I was collecting these magazines from when I was like 13, 14 and just wanting to be like in that industry and world. When I quit modeling, I followed this. I was like, do I go into production? What do I do? And just played around with different roles and then started directing. But with a few bad experiences with men, I decided to go into the art side. I ended up doing art direction. In 2020, I was signed by an agency as a production designer, but I didn't really know what a production designer was. Yeah. So I was working in music videos and doing sets, so fashion, music videos, then commercials, and then film. And that gave me the confidence to start finally writing my own stuff. So I've been I'm filming my first short on the 4th of June. So that's and very soon, it's very soon, in 10 days. And I just came back from Cannes because I'm trying to learn as much as I can about the whole film industry as a director and as a screenwriter. Alongside that, I was like, the film industry's been quite up and down for the past 2 years, so I just want to create something more sustainable. So I've created Selfish Studio, which is what I called my business. It was meant to be as a joke. It was kind of like, I thought it was quite funny. And then I realized that I have to actually talk about it with Companies House and HMRC and my accountant.
You're like, oh.
But then I realized it actually lends itself quite well because it's quite funny to me anyway. And so that's kind of email marketing. I was trying to find something else sustainable that I could do alongside the one I have to be on set because when you're physically on set a lot, I had 2 burnouts in 3 years. I need something that's better for my nervous system and my mental health. Alongside that, I'm also offering content creation in terms of making sets and shooting things for people. And then I'm also writing a course to teach other people how. I realized that a lot of the content out there looks the same. And, faceless marketing with like a cup of coffee and a nice beige table. We can do more. So I've started that. That is going to be out next month, the course. And then, but before all of this other content creation, I trained as a life coach during the pandemic because I realized that people really needed help, like in the creative industry. So my coaching business is called She Speaks Sense. I primarily coach women, creative women, founders, CEOs, directors, anything where you want to like level up or have clarity or mindset help. I don't think you just need to tell yourself some affirmations every morning, but it is a way of living. Yeah, because I've never had any problems with my mindset ever, which is interesting. It's more about the how that I was confused about. So yeah, there's lots going on. Yeah, so busy.
Fair play. And so like you've got what I like to call a squiggly career where you've kind of jumped into different things. So you trained as a life coach, but did you also have to train yourself in set design and screenplay writing? Or is that all self-taught? Yeah. How did you go around that? Where do you even go
on set? Like I messed up a few times. I was like, yeah, I can do it. There were a few nightmares and it's all about problem solving anyway. And I really tried to assist people, but people didn't want me. Like people said to me, you're already established, because I had one Vogue shoot under my belt, but it was a piece of fabric and some backdrop stands with silks everywhere, which looked amazing. Then I did a cover, but that was a bit of cardboard. To me, that wasn't like building anything. It wasn't the construction. It was just some fabric. And I was like, no, I have so much to learn. And then I just couldn't get my foot in the door. So I was like, okay, well, I have to just do this myself then. I did. I'm still learning. Every single job, there's always problems to solve and fires to put out and things that I don't know.
Would you say that there's a lot of transferable skills in what you do? Like you started out from modeling to set design to life coaching to like content coaching. Like, would you say they all kind of intertwine with each other?
In theory, yes. Yes, I think so. it's interesting. I did a workshop in Cannes about how to create emotional reactions, like how to get emotional reactions from your actors. The director said to me, "This sounds a lot like what you do already." I was like, "Yeah, this is weird." The first thing I'm directing is very emotion driven. It's a very personal story. And it was interesting because he was like, "You do all of this already." I realized that the skills I learned in coaching can transfer to directing. I don't coach people on set, but I take a step back to manage my own emotions and my thought process about my own ego or somebody else's ego on set, or establishing my own boundaries, or how I like to work. I'm very open now about my neurodivergence, which I wasn't before. It's really helped me ground in myself and believe in myself and be like, it's okay, you have a voice and you can use it. You don't have to shout, you can still be heard. The content creation is more, when the film industry was really quiet, I was like, I need to make stuff with my hands. Like, I've always been creative. There's pictures of me as a kid creating forts out of the sun chairs outside and putting Sylvanian families and things. So I was always creating stuff. I just feel like I miss that if I'm just completely digital.
That's
If
fair.
that makes sense.
That is fair. It sounds like intuition is your superpower in a way, and like bringing things to life. Whether that's bringing someone to life, or bringing a physical set to life, or bringing a digital experience to life, that kind of sounds like.
Yeah, I do. And I guess with coaching, I do work with my intuition a lot. So you can have executive coaches, which can be quite different to the coaching that I do, because people come to me for a business problem and it's never a business problem. Like, oh, I can't communicate this. And then it's like, well, why can't you communicate that? It's always the why behind it. Or, yeah, I feel like it's always some sort of, there's something underneath. And that's the same with like production design. You've got to kind of take someone's ideas and whatever they're telling you and then create something out of it.
Welcome. Out of interest, what did you want to be growing up as?
I wanted to be a vet.
If you remember.
Yeah, because I was watching RSPCA Animal Hospital and I would cry all the time. And I was like, I don't think I could do this. When they had to put the animal down, I was a mess.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to be a fashion designer. And I did think I did fashion foundation for like 2 weeks. And I was like, absolutely not. And then I worked in the fashion industry and I was so glad that I was like, nope. I don't know if my nervous system could handle that. I think I actually have PTSD from modeling. So I'm glad I didn't go down that route. I did hear something interesting from a psychiatrist. She said that your dream job, or the job you end up doing, is what your inner child craved when you were younger. And I was like, interesting, because I enjoy building worlds and kind of escaping into these fantastical realities, because my actual reality was, I had a beautiful childhood, but I was growing up in working class Newcastle. Like, it wasn't like dreamy all the time. It was it was really hard, but there are beautiful moments. But I think it just makes you quite a resilient human being.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is fair, and it's great to hear that you've come from a working class background. I find, especially in London, there is an underrepresentation of people from working class backgrounds in the creative scene. Do you think your life experiences have shaped how you create compared to some of the other people around you who
people with money?
Lifestyles.
I definitely had a chip on my shoulder for a while, but I didn't know what it was about. I went from modeling, being completely on guard all the time, really having to have a thick skin, to going into the film industry, and not, because I wasn't really trained, not knowing how people spoke to each other, not understanding that sometimes people are just doing their job. I would be like, who are you talking to? I'd be really on guard all the time, and also not realizing, because I didn't get diagnosed autistic until last October. So understanding that my sensitivities might be different to somebody else's. But I definitely found that I was working with a lot of people who, his dad was in the film industry, or they just got them the job and they were suddenly on a full rate, whereas I had to work for 4 years and still am, to constantly be supporting myself. When I was modeling, I had a bar job and I was at university. When I first started as an art director, I was waitressing and then going to set and working for free, doing loads of shoots for free constantly and trying to pay rent. And that was really, really difficult, especially when the privileged photographer would ask you to pay for the set. And I was like, I actually can't. So I found that if I had the money, I would have made my own films back then. There's a lot that could have been different, but also I feel like it just happened as it was supposed to. And now I try and give underrepresented people a chance as well. You know, there's this amazing guy called Baka, which I'll send him this podcast after, and I keep getting him down from Manchester. He's from Moss Side, young, lovely, like Muslim kid, and he's doing amazing things. I keep trying to get him on set because he's got the work ethic. He's amazing. He's so kind to everyone. He's asking questions. He's interested. He has that passion. And I've worked with people who are like, yeah, I'm this. And then they've turned up on set and I'm like, no, you're not. You're on your phone the whole time. And just because your dad is the director doesn't mean that you can, but you shouldn't be in this position right now. But there's a lot of set etiquette that I notice the difference in between. I have noticed. That's not to say that I think it's like 12% of the creative industry is made of working class people. And then when I don't know, working class people of color, I don't know what that statistic is, but I'd constantly strive to bring in people of color in my team or working class people of color. Like, I don't want it to just be like a token thing, but I'm still a person of privilege, like, with the color of my skin in this industry. If I can help somebody else, then I will, because I find it quite disgusting, the whole thing. One time I was on a commercial, it was 160 crew, and there was one black guy, and he was the runner. And I was like, where's the I find it very uncomfortable. A lot of gatekeeping.
And
probably get in trouble for saying this, but whatever.
A lot of gatekeeping.
Here we are.
This podcast is all about ungatekeeping the experience. I have my own experience on all sides of the creative gamut as well. It's a really weird world. I briefly was in fashion modeling. I was like, this isn't for me.
I can see that though.
Everything is just a bit strange.
It's a bit strange.
Pardon?
Cool.
I was like, thank you. I was like, everyone's a bit strange. And then I was like, commercial modeling, sign me up. I'm happy to sell dog food and get paid for it.
I've actually re-signed up with an agency because I saw this car advert with a ginger woman with a ginger kid in the back. And I was like, she's getting about 20 grand for that. Get me back in. And that's why I signed up with an agency.
If you're listening and you want to go into the modeling world, fashion modeling, it's a bit strange, but commercial modeling, go for it. Oh, incredible. So, next question. As you've been starting all of these different ventures, like, what are some key skills you feel like you've really had to develop and learn? Even the boring stuff, like earlier you were mentioning HMRC.
I mean, getting an accountant. Key skills, definitely respecting yourself, respecting your time and other people's time, patience. How to do a formula in Excel. My God, when I first did it, I was like adding everything up. Like, oh God, I didn't even know what I was when I was doing a budget. Basic kind of like how to present documents and presentations in a way that's like looks really nice. So basic graphic design. Like, I'm in no way a graphic designer, but I can kind of understand the rule of thirds on a page and everything. Money management, budgeting. Don't think money's just going to come in when your rent's due, because sometimes it doesn't. You got to chase it in place. Having a rainy day pot and not having water too close to your laptop. That happened to me a few weeks ago.
Oh my God.
So mine is now right over here because I spilled it on my laptop and I just liquids with caps on. I would say with a key around your laptop.
I learnt my lesson with the hibiscus tea at a cafe.
The irony.
I was like,
The irony. If it's not meant to make me feel I'm
yeah. Incredible. Has it always been you? Have you ever hired out? If you're working on a big campaign, you've got a team around you, but have you ever had an assistant for your coaching business or your content coaching business?
I am hiring someone soon for the content creation for the Selfish Studio staff. I've just been talking to someone about that. Just because I feel
nice.
If I can just concentrate on the creative, then somebody might be wanting to get involved in the operations and the marketing and everything. So it's kind of, yeah. But I mainly have a team when I do a bigger shoot, or I rarely do a shoot without an assistant. And I have a bad back, so I'm kind of have to refuse to do it now because I've got a slip disc, which is fun. Yeah, so it's kind of like, I'm like, it'll get done much faster if somebody else is here to help me lift this table.
It's true. And like, where do you find people to help you? Is it just
Word of
through word of
mouth,
mouth, or have you got
Instagram.
anything?
I get emailed a lot. I get contacted about 3 times a week by people wanting to assist. And people offering themselves for free, which I don't like. I'm like, don't offer yourself for free.
Yeah, I get that a lot as well.
No, I try and
Like,
give people money because I don't agree with them offering their labor out for free. If I don't have that much work, or if I have a core team that we get into a rhythm of working together a lot, but I want to give other people a chance, it is difficult to actually give people a chance because sometimes the production doesn't have the budget for it, or there's no space for them, or they have a limited amount of crew on set. So I can't always do that, but I will give them other people to contact and hope that they can. I'm like, try this person. But I've always generally been freelance.
and then speaking of contacts, especially in more creative industries, what is something that you find moves the needle for you in terms of getting and finding clients?
I spent so long contacting people like saying, please work with me. The better conversations, the more conversations I've had that have developed into other things, or when I've managed to meet them and ask them if they fancied a coffee or a quick Zoom. Zoom wasn't really a thing when I was first starting. It was literally meeting people in person or having that human connection with somebody. I get loads of people sending the email of, oh, I really like that project that you did with such and such. Here's my portfolio. Can I come work with you? And I'm like, I've sent those emails before as well. And I try and reply to everyone. I will actually get back and say, I'm so sorry if I missed your last email. I'm getting contacted so often. It's like, what makes you stand out? If someone said to me, one person, who was it? I can't remember. They just said something about, I'm really appreciating all the dog video stories that you keep posting. I was like, okay, you can come on set. Clearly, you appreciate the same things that I do. Is that all recognition rather than just a professional one?
Yeah.
And I found, I don't know if everyone operates the same. The corporate world can be very different. I find the corporate world bizarre, very odd. I think I did an in-house job and I had to talk to HR, and it was like she was reading from a script. I asked if she was okay because I didn't know that. She's like, hello. And I was like, and then I was like, yeah, literally, it was very, and then the other art director, because I was meant to be supporting her while she was on leave, was just looking at me and looking at her. Because I was like, I don't understand this energy. It's just so strange. But I guess as a freelancer, I'm used to just talking to people, or I don't know if it is a creative thing. I don't know what it is, but maybe it's just me as a human being. I talk to people and like to get to know them as people. And I find that very odd, but that might just be the corporate world. I don't know.
Yeah, it is interesting because I've been consuming a lot of how to put yourself to brand content recently, and people seem to be saying like similar things. Like when you chat to people, when you're pitching, if you just sort of pitch, like you're just having a conversation or add like a bit of a human touch and don't make yourself like super polished, that tends to come across a little bit better than like a really
Salesy.
Polished, sterile, salesy thing.
I did a workshop on this at the start of Cannes about how to talk about yourself. And it was about the question about what do you do? Because everyone, asked that. And I used quite a few different like insights that I've learned over my time. And one of them where eventually I would say, oh, I'm known for this, but what I love is this. Or my job that earns me money is this, but what I really want to create is this. And then that really helps. And also finding out what someone needs before you try and sell it to them. Because if you're just trying to sell something to somebody and they don't need that, they'll be like, well, this is a waste of my time. Like it's kind of, like, hi there, I do this, this and this. I have a film I want to sell. They're like, great, I don't work in this area. Like, okay, good luck. So even pitching to brands is kind of like find out what the brand needs first. And then you're in a much better place to actually be that person who can help them. So if somebody's just shot a huge campaign and then you're offering to do a campaign for them, like there's no point. Well, that yes, they remember you for the next, quarter or half for the next campaign. But if you say, I acknowledge that you've just created this, are you looking for any social things around this? We could develop this into this. If you're interested, this is what I've done in the past, or I'm super excited about this. Have you thought about developing it this way? And it's kind of offering to help. So if you offer to help somebody, it's more of a, what can I give this person rather than what can I take? That's kind of what the workshop was about. And so many people came to me afterwards and were like, oh my God, it worked so well. Like, who are you looking to meet? What are you excited about? Finding out about people gives you insights.
1000%. And that is a skill that becomes a bit more natural over time, because you have to go against what you're initially taught, which is to be super like salesy.
Oh, I switch off.
Like,
as soon as anyone tries to sell anything to me, I'm like, all right, bye. Like, but again, that's just me. You know, that's just me. I like someone to make me laugh. I like ridiculous things because it's all ridiculous. Like, we're all humans who like, go to the toilet and have a shower and wake up with our hair like up here. And, you know, we talked about the de-shedding before. And well, it's ridiculous that we're then put into this like, this, oh, hello, how are you? Is that how you talk to your friends in the pub? No, I find it really deeply uncomfortable, actually. And yeah, all of my, you know, the connections I had in Cannes, I ended up getting invited to a free dinner. And I said, why did you invite me to this, like, the OGs of the film industry? And I was like, oh my God, why am I? And he went, well, you're a really nice person. And I went, oh. Shit, okay. And he's like, I just thought it would be really nice for you to come and meet everyone. And I was like, thank you. It wasn't like, oh, well, you've done this project and it was just, you're a nice person. We would like to be around you.
There we go. Like, literally being a nice person, just being like an open person and an interesting person.
Interested.
Get you.
You don't have to be interesting. If you're interested, you're interesting to them. Yeah. Literally.
People love talking about themselves.
But if you're like, I do this, and, you know, amazing. Well done. I'm really, really happy for you. That's wonderful. But if it's somebody that wants to talk about themselves in a way, you know, there's a question you can say. It's not even a question, it's a statement. It's like, tell me more about that. More about that. Someone can talk because you can just keep saying that over and over again. And it was an exercise that I did in the workshop. If someone says, I'm making a book about pixies that have allergic reaction to mushrooms, welcome everyone, then, oh, tell me more about that. And then this happens, tell me more about that. Oh, well, because of, and then they'll say, I'm making it because of this. Oh, right, okay, so tell me more. It's literally, and it's a coaching question as well. It's something I say in coaching, to get to the root of why somebody is like feeling a bit flat or anything. It can be about anything. Just tell me more about that. And they'll remember you for being the person who asked about them. You don't need to say anything about yourself. Because then you might pick up in that conversation the little things that they need. But I don't really know what the full story is yet. And then your brain can be like, could I help them with the story? Maybe I could help them with the story. They haven't got a producer yet. I know a lot of producers. So
that's so valuable. It's like when you're able, because then while they're telling you more about that, your brain is worrying about not just like how you can help them, like in what they need.
And if you can't, you might know someone who can, and then you're remembered for being the person who introduced you to them. So
yeah, and then
effect.
Like, there's a massive effect. And then like maybe 3 years down the line, maybe 1 month down the line, and suddenly, because you're memorable, they'll be like, oh, actually, I remembered that you did this thing. I need your help. And so it's playing the long game.
It's called the long game.
It does work.
The long game, yes, it can be.
Thank you so much for telling us about all of the fabulous things you do. And there are definitely some great takeaways there for people to apply to their own journeys. Now I'm going to move on to stuff that makes you happy and makes your life easier.
If you're enjoying the show, we'd love to hear what you're thinking. Drop a comment and share your thoughts. Even better, if you're loving the show, take 2 seconds to rate us 5 stars wherever you get your podcast. It really helps other people find us. And if you want to be a guest, details in the show notes on how to sign up. Now, let's jump back in.
So, I like to start this section off with music. Do you have any songs that just get you pumped?
I've been listening to such a contrast. I've been a bit obsessed with Doechii. So I've been listening to, like, at every single time I start my little car journey off. I call it my little car journey because my car's small. I put nosebleeds on, and I'm always like, it's so aggressive. I'm like, yes, yeah, it's about her surpassing all the girls at school and stuff like that. And I was like, interesting. Thought biographical? No. I shout out to the bullies. Thank you so much. But yeah, I fully respect her for what she's done. And I just think every time I listen to her music, I'm like, this is coming from her heart. It's really incredible. And then Diana Ross, Ain't No Mountain High Enough. And then sometimes I listen to like something random like Rage Against the Machine, or like the Prodigy. I listen to the Prodigy when I'm on the tube. Breathe is amazing thing for when you're on the tube, because you're just like, right, I'm in a film. I just need to get through this, and everyone's an enemy. Just dodging people. Queens of the Stone Age I was listening to the other day. And then I listened to like, what's her name? Oh my gosh, I'm totally blanked. Sheba Chantress. Oh, and she's really, it's like more like, I call it spiritual. It's just like a hand pan, and it's ultra calming, and my cat falls asleep every single time I put it on. But I'm a bit of a hippie as well. I just like all music depending on what I need to be focusing on in that moment. It's like, what makes my brain happy? I ask my brain, because my brain's got a name. She's called Becky. I don't know why. I'm like, what's going to make you happy right now? Really help. Name your brain. Be like, why? I don't need you right now. Stop being so negative.
And that's true. That it does help you. Like,
yeah. I'm like, what are you up to? Stop the machine that's trying to keep you safe.
Exactly. And then thinking of things that keep you safe, what are some things that you do, maybe like personal policies that just keep you grounded? Like for me, no calls before 10 a.m.
Strict boundaries of work. So if I'm on a project, say I'm on a commercial and it's go, go, go. If someone messages me at like 9 p.m. and if it's a producer that I'm quite close with, I'll get back to them, but I'll say, can this wait till the morning? Or if someone's having a conversation about a shot, like a DOP or something's messaging saying, oh, well, can we do this? I'll just not reply until the morning. Or I'll say, hey guys, I'm just with my partner, or I'm out, basically, like I'm logged out.
Yeah.
Obviously, if it's a deadline and everyone's working together on it, I'll do it, because the team is trying to make something happen.
Yeah.
With my clients as well, quite boundaried in terms of WhatsApp messages. That keeps me sane. Do you think I'm sane?
Yeah.
I actually burn a lot of candles. So this is like a black pomegranate, and it's like very oody. I like my space to smell nice. I also open the windows a lot, even in the winter. I like fresh air in my house. Just like a reset. Before bed, I do a bit of breath work, even if it's like 2 minutes. I use an app called Open, if that's helpful for anyone. It's just makes you actually be conscious of your body and letting everything from the day go. It really helps. I try to be disciplined. I try to do a routine in the morning, and it doesn't always happen. As long as I'm just doing these basic things, going outside, getting light on my face. I'm really happy. I live by the sea, so I go out and look at the sea when I'm a bit stressed. I go and kind of remember that I'm just a grain of sand, just tiny. I don't matter really in the grand scheme of things. This problem with clients freaking out about what color pen we're going to use is not really a big problem in the world. So what else do I do? Lots of water.
Okay.
Yeah, that helpful. Wash your face.
Gotta stay hydrated. You mentioned an app. Are there any other tools, productivity apps, tech, etc., that you love and that help you do things more efficiently or just be better?
I've signed up to Motion, and I use Notion sometimes as well. But I honestly sometimes find just writing things down is helpful for me, because then I get into the thing of like, oh wait, you haven't done your things for the day, oh you haven't put them in, and if there's so many things. But I do find having something that's like a little tracker of kind of, these haven't been done yet, because especially since I've got so many different things going on, it's helpful to have a productivity tool to help me. I'm trying to use ChatGPT less because of the effect on the environment, but I'm trying to like actually use my brain. No, but it has been incredibly helpful, especially with someone like, I'm dyslexic as well. So sometimes I put words the wrong way around, and I'll read it back and go, wow, how did you think that that's how it was meant to go? But yeah, I don't know. My calendar, I just have to put everything in the calendar. If I haven't got it in there, I will not remember. And if I'm meeting someone somewhere, I set a time 15 minutes before, so I make sure I arrive on time.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a good tip. I should start doing that.
Well, I just realized I was annoying, by a casual 15 minutes late. And then I was like, that would annoy me, actually. So let's change that to, and like put in that I have to be there half an hour before. So even if I'm sitting, at least I'm kind of preparing myself for the job rather than rushing in there and being stressed out and stressing everyone else out. I want to go in there with good energy and set the tone for how the shoot's going to be rather than let the job set the tone for me.
That's a good tip. Then, are there any? Let's do personal style. So, are there any key pieces you feel like key pieces or brands that you feel like are part of your personal uniform that make you feel like confident and like ready to take on the world?
I would say a banging pair of Levi's, always, but straight cut, not grippy ones, because you can wear like really nice boots and they just look a lot classier because they kind of hang on the boot. I've got quite little legs, and I find that jeans are like an odd shape because I'm really curvy as well. So I can end up just looking like I just go straight down. So I need something that's like high-waisted and just hangs from the knees. Really, a pair of 501 black boots, flat back and high black boots. I generally wear black, a really nice classic shirt and a blazer for like meetings. I realized that I was dressing like I was going to some agency meetings and things where I was dressing a bit trendy. So it's just something that you can just like throw on to be like, oh, look, I'm take care of myself. I've started getting my nails done because I realized working on set, they're always not great. But it's nice to have groomed hands. So you can look a mess, but if your hands are nice, they know you take care of yourself.
There we go. There we go.
I don't know. My style's definitely changed. It's definitely going a lot more classic, which is quite interesting for me. I used to be really conceptual, especially when I was modeling because I had really short hair. So it was like shaved with a quiff.
Oh.
I was trying out different shapes and I was very much slimmer. So I would just wear anything. Now I have boobs and it's more difficult. You know, blazers don't always fit. They just kind of hang out and your boobs are there with the blazer on the outside and you're like, what's happened here? This isn't how it's meant to look. Because I feel like a lot of things are made for Zara models. And I look at something on the site and I'm like, that's not going to look good on me. So I think dressing for your shape is probably my key thing.
Lovely. And then speaking of hair, nails, etc., are there any beauty products that you're loving?
Yeah, yes.
At the moment?
I actually use this brand called My Skin Feels, and the face wash is made from recycled food waste. Never been clearer. Look. I had moisturizer on. I would definitely. I also use a new face every now and again. But drinking lots of water. I try not to use too much on my face. I realized I was doing these routines of like 7 different products and my skin didn't look any better for a week. And then when I was in Cannes, I literally washed my face and put on this moisturizer and my skin is clearer than it's been. I was like, it's all a myth, isn't it? It's all a myth. It's all not real. SPF, everyday.
SPF.
But get a non-toxic SPF. I use La Roche-Posay, it's like a little white. I think it's best. I think it's good for darker skin tones as well. I don't think it leaves a tint. Yeah, like the cast. That's it. Yeah. But yeah, I was taking collagen for a while, and then I didn't really notice that much of a difference. I use natural shampoo in my hair. I think it looks quite good. I do that much. Maybe I should. No, like I don't really.
I mean, like if it ain't,
don't have any fillers or anything. I tried it once and I realized it just made me look really odd and like I'm puffy now because I'm tired and I drank my own body weight and rosé it can, but I didn't like it at all and I could see it being a slippery slope. Expensive, but I definitely think aging gracefully is like And I hate that. I don't like that term at all. But I'm actually starting to appreciate my wrinkles and things because I'm like, oh, look, I'm a woman now. I'm not a child. And I've had some like life experience.
I think Pamela Anderson recently said, she was like, aging is a blessing.
I mean,
like, I don't get all the fusses about because
honestly, I've lost many friends and people so I think there's definitely a part of that where I'm just like, oh, look, that's from, it sounds really cheesy, that's from laughing a lot. Like, you know, and I do have a few more darker freckles on my head, and I'm like, oh, that's from the time that you were on a rooftop in France where you got a bit burnt, and like, oh, okay. Not that I'm saying go out and burn your head, but I just mean SPF. I would just say try and keep yourself out the sun. Don't put on body oils and things and try and encourage yourself to tan. Like, just use a fake tan. No one really cares that much anyway. It's only you or Instagram. But I don't know. I think I'm quite lucky because I look quite odd with a tan. So it might be difficult. It might be a different conversation for other people where they're like, no, I look horrendous. But yeah, beauty stuff. I did start sleeping on a silk pillow.
Did that make any difference?
It wasn't as like tatty in the morning. Like I brush from the bottom and then all the way up. Hand cream. Oh, and put sun cream on your hands. I realize when you're driving. I realized my right hand is looking older than my left hand. And I was like, what's going on? I realized I'm driving with one hand because the glass obviously makes it more powerful and goes into your hands. But look after them. Yeah,
that makes sense. Back in the day, women would wear.
I've been thinking about it. If I get the Volkswagen Polo is like the right car to do this with, but whatever, do what you want.
Hey, start a trend. Love it. Awesome.
If you're enjoying the show, we'd love to hear what you're thinking. Drop a comment and share your thoughts. Even better, if you're loving the show, take 2 seconds to rate us 5 stars wherever you get your podcast. It really helps other people find us. And if you want to be a guest, details in the show notes on how to sign up. Now, let's jump back in.
Thank you for telling us about.
Just panicked. I was like,
now we're going to transition into talking more about your experience with being a London babe and all the time. You spend a lot of time in London. I actually love that you live
in Brighton, yes.
Which is basically,
call it London.
Which I think at this point is basically an extension of London. I know so many people who've moved out to Brighton because it is quite commutable. How long is the commute?
An hour
to get into London when you need to? Yeah, it takes me an hour to get to East London.
Exactly. So many times people have said, oh, it's a 2-hour journey back from the studio. And I'm like, oh, it's an hour and a half for me. Bye. Get in the car. I was in Hackney for like 19 years. On and off.
That must have been quite a significant amount of time as well. You must have seen Hackney transform into what it is now.
No.
It wasn't always hip and trendy and orange wine bars everywhere. What was that experience?
Well, I have a very distinct memory when I met one of my best friends, Amici. I was stood outside a warehouse on Ramsgate Street. The warehouse isn't even there anymore. My agent, I was like, no one's answering this door, this warehouse. And it was where I was meant to be having a shoot. And I remember my agent just going, can you just get inside anywhere? Can you just get inside? And I was like, why? What's wrong with it here? They were like, it's a really dangerous way. Can you just get inside a cafe or something? I was like, well, there's no cafes, you know. And then I had to go into Dalston, Kingsland. And I was this little 19-year-old just like with my portfolio like, oh my God, what's happening? Newcastle, just like, what is this? But I loved it. And it brought me so much like just inspiration constantly. It was much more real. It was a much more like home, to be honest.
Yeah.
And people were going about their day. It wasn't just everyone sitting in cafes all the time. It was people going to work and culture and people having conversations with each other and shouting each other on the street. It was very different. And I remember when I first moved to this place in Lower Clapton, something was set on fire outside my front door. And I was just like, oh, right, okay. You know, now I'd probably be a bit more like, oh, that's probably quite dangerous. But I was like, all right, that's where we are.
Yeah.
The Sainsbury's got put in and everyone was like, exciting. And then a Marks and Spencer's came and we were like, oh my God, you know, we've made it.
Yeah, that's definitely a big sign.
Yeah, and then it got, you know, they were like, we're having a makeover. And then Marks and Spencer's was like suddenly like the trendiest place. But then I realized, like, am I part of the problem? But at the time, I didn't have any money. I just thought, oh, it's like, I was like struggling to pay rent and everything. And now it's insane prices there. But I definitely am glad some of the Hackney residents are still there, but it definitely feels like most people have been pushed out, which is really sad.
Yeah. I think there is a little bit of a East London to the seaside pipeline at the moment. I was chatting about this with my partner earlier, where it's like Brighton or Margate seem to be the hot spot. It's too expensive now. Or you're just fed up of the city and sort of like move out towards that
I think
side.
for me, it also changed after the pandemic. The energy in London changed. It didn't feel. It feels a bit like I felt a bit sadder, but also I'm getting older and like my nervous system and everything. Having a stressful job and coming home and living on a main road in Hackney, and then the house was so loud. The buses outside would vibrate the windows, and I was like, I have to go and work this out and be in a place of calm. But I'm in my late 30s and priorities have changed. It's like me, my cat, and the road now. I've got a tree outside. I have a palm tree outside my window. So I wake up with that. And then I come into London, work, and I can go, okay, I can leave now. But I still love London. I love it so much and I miss it so much. I miss the energy. I miss the people. I miss the music. I miss the conversations that I hear on the street. But I'm not ready to come back just yet to like stay.
Where are some of your favorite places in London? Maybe like when you do come into the city, I'm really excited to go to this place. Food is incredible.
So many places. I actually just love wandering around Soho and finding a random little Italian tapas bar. I'm like, oh my God, I can get small bits of pasta. Perfect. Anywhere that does gluten-free, me at this point. But I've totally blanked on like all the places that I go. I generally end up
Good.
trying to avoid Soho House when I go in with friends. I'm like, can we not just go to a little wine bar? Like, can we just go somewhere so big? I love a pub, to be honest. I love a Sunday roast. I think I would treat myself by
pub food is
saying
great.
to my mates, like, let's find like a ratchet pub, like where like the locals are all there, from 11 a.m. When I was in Hackney, I used to go to the Star of Hackney Downs all the time. They had a banging roast, and then they'd have a DJ on a Sunday. Haggerston, I used to go to a lot for the jazz. Yeah. Ronnie Scott's also great. Nice. Jazz. Trying to think what I eat. What do I eat? I love going down Broadway Market and just sitting and watching people, generally the dogs. But yeah, I'm very much let's grab a cocktail or a coffee and sit and watch people just going past, and very fashionable people, and I just hide in the corner.
Is there anywhere that you go if you need to dip in and do a bit of work? Do you have any go-to spots?
Piccadilly in the Curzon, Soho Curzon, is got a really nice downstairs to all the couches and stuff, and it's just really nice and quiet. British Library, also perfect. So that's one where I feel like I'm a working girl, and I'm like, yeah. But the Curzon's great. You can just sit with a coffee, you can just sit there all day. People are generally like, it's really quiet because it's underground. But yeah, I just find if I'm around too much kind of stimulation, I can't actually do anything. But because I'm interested in what everyone's doing, and I'm like, damn it, I know what you need to concentrate on. But yeah, I'm very much like if I'm in Soho, I'll kind of wander around until I find a perfect place. I think there's a Nordic bakery as well off Piccadilly. Oh, and Zadell is great.
Okay.
Zadell in Soho. It looks like an old ship inside, like a cruise ship, and it's beautiful.
Very cool.
Where am I?
No, I've never heard of this place.
Right. Zadell Brasserie it's old French, beautiful marble, everything. And it's not pricey. Yeah, it's not pricey. Zadell, it's great. It's all French, so you can get really beautiful food.
Nice.
Yeah. I used to go to the Ace Hotel before it changed in Shoreditch and sit there with a laptop.
Oh, is that 100 Shoreditch, right?
I generally gravitate to where the food is.
Yeah. Well, I do have a gripe with the food in the old hotel lobbies. I think because they know that people will come around on their laptops all day. But if you want to get lunch, it's like, why is the burger £20?
Honestly, got to buy, and then you've got to pay for the fries extra, and it's like, sorry, is this laced with gold? Like, I don't understand.
And I'm like, I'll just get the chips. chips and a pot of tea. That's how I survive.
I feel you.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
it's generally somewhere I can have a nice coffee and a sit. I actually used to go into, it's by, where is it by? Oh my God, Leicester Square. And it's called, is it Sacred Bookshop? Sacred Books? No, it's on, oh damn. It's from Coventry, it's a travel bookshop. And they have a little cafe.
Okay.
So I used to go and sit in there if I was around Central and just go to the cafe and sit or find a chair because they just leave you to just sit and you can drink your coffee. And it's because I'm just surrounded by travel books and it's one of my favorite things to do. So then I'll just pick something up and be like, oh, escape for a minute.
Love that. And then earlier you mentioned about avoiding to have.
Okay.
Are you part of any members clubs or even digital networks that you find?
I mean, Soho House used to be so, and Shoreditch House I used to go to. Did I have a membership? No, I've never had a membership. I've always just had a friend there.
Yeah.
Be like,
that's
are
literally-
you there? Great. I do have a freshman tea though from Soho House. Very comfy. Like the Dean Street one as well. It's nice. I am part of a co-working space in Hove, which I found to be super helpful to meet people because, you know, Shoreditch House and Soho House used to just be for creatives and now it's just for anyone. I found that I wasn't actually meeting people that, you know, in the industry where we could all collaborate and do things together. It was more like finance bros. And I was like, it isn't helpful. Unless they want to pay for the film. I'm part of quite a few different things. There's a thing called The Cusp, which is really great, run by a guy called Amos, who I recommend to people who are in the creative industry. Super insightful, really helpful. My co-working space called Platform, but I don't think they have one in London.
I've had so many things about like every time I've seen so many things posted about like
Oh, maybe.
out in like Hove. It seems like the place.
I think
to be
yeah, I
if
think
you are in
Brighton
the area.
and I think Brighton and Hove, I think there's kind of a resurgence as well of creators wanting to connect with each other because a lot of our time is spent on our own. Anyone who's remotely or in anything where you're on your own a lot, it's kind of craving that human connection, even if it is just to talk to somebody else for the day or sit in a space where other people are and consume a different energy. Or I find it useful because I end up just distracting myself with housework or not focusing on what I'm supposed to be focusing on work-wise. Or client calls I always do in my house because it's quiet. And I'm trying to I think I'm on the dots. I think I'm on many different WhatsApp groups. The photographers groups called Moving Image Collective. I'm on a film group in Brighton. You know, there's so many. In Cannes, I was with Yes She Can. So it was a group for women who work in film in Cannes. So it's a support network run by Faith Elizabeth. She's amazing. She provided a safe space for us, helped us get reservations for the red carpet because she's a seasoned pro now. Hopefully she's going to have a women's area next year as well. That'll be amazing to just relax and have a breath. So I'm part of all these different things kind of naturally without really actively said, you know, these things just kind of come in and I'm like, oh, okay. You know, there's a media lunch club I'm joining as well, film, because I just want to learn as much as I can. Like Cine Sisters, I'm also part of that. Female narratives, you know, there's so many different things, but it can be a lot where I feel like I'm not really doing any of them. I'm not involved in any of them because there's so many. I'd have to just de-shed and concentrate on it.
I feel that I have my home club, which I do invest a lot of I do regularly check the chat and stuff, ways and ways, and then I have other ones that I dip into from time to time, mainly for the events, just to find cool things to go to. I think because that is quite hard. In London, unless you are part of.
I've also got coaching groups as well, so I just have to. In a moment, but I'll tell people if I'm not fully present, I'll say, hey, I'm not really fully present right now. If I'm being a bit quiet, I'm just concentrating on something else. Just to set expectations.
Yeah, that's fair.
Don't worry if it's a lot to take in. All of the amazing tools, spots and recommendations mentioned by our guests can be found in the Coffee and Oysters guide. Details in the show notes.
Thank you for giving us the lowdown on where to go in London and Brighton. So now we're gonna wrap up in this final section. What is something? Well, I'm sure I know what this is going to be, but what's a recent win that you want to celebrate? And what's a recent win of someone else in the community
Okay.
that you want to celebrate?
My recent win, making it back from Cannes alive. No, joking. So I just did a workshop at Cannes, which was amazing, with women from Yes She Can. That was really beautiful to take everything I've learned and put it into a workshop. And they were like, "Can you sell this workshop?" I was like, "I can just send it to you. You don't have to pay." But I realized that that was really, really helpful. How to talk about yourself, ask the right questions, building confidence. Because imposter syndrome, it was a workshop mainly on imposter syndrome, but I didn't box it as that because I don't want to label it.
Yes.
At the start, people started networking, and I was like, no, don't talk about what you do, because we're going to learn how to talk about what you want to create, not just what you're known for. So that was amazing to see that it worked. That was a win. Realizing that there are people out there who find your ideas inspiring and want to help. What I'm doing is creating space for women and wanting to give them a voice, that people support it. That was super beautiful, because it's kind of something that I've struggled with my voice since I was little. I was silenced a bit when I was a kid and struggled with my self-esteem and confidence a lot. It's only the past few years that I've started using my voice and talking about things. I used to have a block in my throat and I wouldn't be able to speak. As my healer friend told me, I've done a lot of work on like exercising my voice, and now I want to open up the doors for other women to take space, because there's so much space to take up, especially in all industries. Let's be honest. A win is my client Stephanie. She has a business called Visual Mastery, and she is a young Black woman who is super driven and so talented. And she came to me for coaching around certain things, and I realized that she was applying for jobs, and I was like, you don't need to apply for jobs, the business is there, push the business forward. So we worked together, and now I'm just like, I get really emotional, I'm so proud. She got a bursary for Somerset House. She is the official podcast for Somerset House. Her business is launching. She has her first event with Nobu on the 29th. Going to speak at the House of Lords. And I'm just like,
what?
Yeah. So I'm really like, I get very emotional because I'm just like, yeah, come on, like, take up space, because I was like, we talked about her minimizing herself, and she's like, I am doing that. And I was like, come on, let's stop it.
That's not a testament to your coaching services.
But she would have got there eventually. No, we said to her, you would have got there. It's just a bit of a catalyst for the growth, And she's having fun, though. That's the point. It's having fun and not burnout, because I've been there, and that's what I want to create for other women, is like getting there without the burnout and actually enjoying it. I'm very excited to see what she creates.
And what are you excited about? Like, what's something that you're excited about within your own business that you want to plug? And is there anything that you need help with?
I'm creating a workshop, like a program. I think it's going to be called the Creative Reframe, about how to reframe yourself in your business. Because I think a lot of people think that it has to be like go constantly, and you can't do anything else, and you have to wake up at 4 a.m. It doesn't have to be like that. It is around the mindset and self-belief, but also taking care of yourself at the same time. I'll probably be starting in the summer. I'm doing that with another coach who's amazing, but I won't say yet because I'm going to Athens to workshop it with her. Who lives in Athens, you probably do. She's amazing. Her name's Isabel, and that's what I'm saying. I'm excited about that, but I'm just excited about growing a community. I have been a bit lax on socials, as I've kind of like been trying to work out how this all flows together. And I'm excited to make my first film. I'm doing a lot of the things this year that I've talked about for a long time, but didn't actually follow through with them. So I'm just excited about following through with everything and creating community, helping more women like create their dreams. It's really exciting to watch people doing it. Because I didn't have that person like 8 years ago when I was trying to figure this all out. I didn't have that person to cheerlead,
And is there anything you need help
Oh my God,
with
where do I start?
these incredible things?
I am looking for a business mentor, if there's anyone out there. Just because I do have a few things going on, I think finding another woman who's built something, I'm kind of looking for a smoother transition as I move away from production design into directing and coaching more. If there's anyone who's up for being a business mentor, I would love to hear from you.
Thank you so much for coming on today. This has been great. I'm really excited for this to go out, to be honest. Lots of gems dropped.
Yep.
Where can people find you if they want to find out about more of the fabulous
So I've got to actually do the website. That's another thing. I'm like, I don't need a website. And then my coach is like, you need to get a website. Oh, for God's sake. Ash K Halliburton, which I think you'll probably have to put the tag because the name is tricky, is my creative Instagram. And then She Speaks Sense is the coaching. Selfish Studio is Hey Selfish Studio. But we can put all of those because it's a lot.
Yeah, we'll put it in the show notes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much and have a great rest of your weekend.
Thanks for listening. Get in touch at coffeeandoysters@gmail.com. Stay connected at Coffee and Oysters Pod on TikTok and Instagram. And never miss out by subscribing to Substack. Details in the show notes. And most importantly, keep those 5-star ratings coming and see you next time.